Hi everyone, welcome along again today. Another interesting recipe, one you're going to love today, and we're going to show you how to do, or well, should I say Jan's going to show you how to do and make a chicken and mushroom pie. And we're going to do it in the old halogen oven, but first off, we're going to get it all ready, made up, and you can see how to do it and make this absolutely superb pie. It's all yours, Jan.
Right, for this I've kind of got a mix of recipes. I'm going to make the white sauce to go in the pie from this Family Meals. I have used it before, so when we come to it I'll go through that in a bit more detail. I've taken an idea from this recipe of sautéing the vegetables, and from this one soaking mushrooms in boiling water. So that's what I've done so far. I've softened the onion and I'm going to add to that, and then I'm going to sauté them, collie, broccoli and leek. You can put whatever you want in there, but we like lots of vegetables and they're going to go in, and then the lid's going to go on them and they're going to steam themselves happily away for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to get the chicken cubed, and here are the mushrooms sitting in boiling water softening, and I'll let you know what's going to happen in a minute. Right, that's the chicken cubed, and what I'm going to do here, I've got some corn flour, and then you season the corn flour. I've used my seasonal, and then you're just going to coat your chicken with the flour. Okay, so over here we've got our vegetables just nicely simmering away there. You can see the steam dripping down. There's no water in there, it's just a bit of oil, soften the onion, and then that's just self-perpetuating from the leeks, or the steam just dropping down on them. We've got our chicken over here ready. For the sauce, you need 1 ounce of butter that you melt in a saucepan. You need 1 ounce of plain flour that we will tip in there in a minute. You need a pint of milk, salt and pepper to season, and nutmeg. Butter's melted. Stir in your flour. Be careful it doesn't go into lumps. It will tend to want to. And keep it on the hob for a minute, stirring all of the time. Right, that's been on for a minute. We'll turn the gas off. Now you're going to add your milk. Be careful because it can tend to want to lumps. Just do a little bit at a time, stirring all the time. There's no heat under there now. That's lovely, looking good. Just keep stirring it in and adding your milk. And then when it's all stirred in, put the heat back on and bring it back to the boil. The trick with this one, while you're heating it through, is to keep stirring and you won't get your lumps. And when it's rich and creamy and velvety like that, all heated through, you'll know it's ready. So now we remove that from the heat. So I'm actually going to leave it on there because I'm going to mark my side. That'll be absolutely fine. And then you add your seasoning, your ground pepper and your salt. If you add salt, we're only adding a tiny bit of salt, but you want a little bit of flavour in there. And the other really good one is the nutmeg. They say freshly ground nutmeg, but I'm going to use this. I won't bother to go out there and do all that grounding and whatever goes on when you do all of that. I won't have the time and I won't do it, so I just buy it by the jar. Now be careful as you put that one. You can see it wants to go in clumps. Just be very careful and keep stirring that round. But that's fine because it will just add to the flavour. So if it's just gone a little bit lumpy, the nutmeg as it's gone in, don't worry. Set that to one side to cool down. This is the recipe I took it from. I took it from this book. I have used it before. It's a fantastic base. So it's the white sauce here. You can freeze it down. It's a great base for lasagna, fish pies. You can put cheese into it if you want to, mustard and herbs, or to accompany chicken, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, so using this book here, I'm using their idea of how to do the mushrooms. And they suggest that they are soaked in the water, which has happened. That's been soaking for the last half an hour. You take them out, you dry them off, and when they're perfectly dry, you slice them. So that's what I'm going to do there. Meanwhile, the chicken's been coated in that lovely seasoning, and this is the other half of my onion. Now, I probably didn't explain what I've done with the onion. I did put the onion in with the vegetables and softened it off and then popped the vegetables in, and that's all done now. That's just sitting there waiting. And the reason I put onion in with the vegetables, I wanted that flavour to permeate through into the vegetables. So you don't have to put it in with the veg, but I have chosen to put half in with the veg, and then I've saved the other half of my onion to soften off and put in with the chicken and coat the chicken. So I'm now just going to drop all of those into the heated oil with the onion, the other half of the onion. As I say, it can be the whole onion, there's no problem. It depends on what you prefer. Or shallots are very nice as well. And now I'm just going to brown this off for the next few minutes. Now they suggest the ship lake mushrooms. I didn't have any, I only had buttons, and they do suggest removing the stalks, so some of them come out quite easily. You may also prefer to actually add your onion at this point, because it's very easy to actually burn the onion and then it goes crunchy as opposed to soft. So you could just brown off your chicken or seal in the flavour for 3 minutes, and you can add your onion at this point. So we're going to add in our mushrooms now, sliced mushroom, they're nice and soft, and the oregano. Again, fresh oregano is recommended, but I'm cheating. And then I've got some bacon flavour bits that I'm going to add in. You don't need to have these, but I'm just going to add those in for flavour. That's been cooking for about 7 minutes now, so that's almost ready. Meanwhile, I've lined my pastry in a pie tin. I'd already made my pastry and popped it in the freezer, so I cheated a bit. But you can cheat even further and buy it on a roll. Or if you want to make your own pastry and you want to see how I do it, I'll put up a link, and then you'll be able to go to another recipe for a beef mince pie where I show you the process of making the pastry. However, for today, we're not going to go through all of that. Pastry's in the dish ready. This is ready to go. I've had it covered so all of the juices are dripping down off of this. It gets a bit hot, be careful. And that's looking good. So now I'm going to lift the lid on my veg that's been nicely marinated there, and I'm going to put this in with it. For a minute, just mix it all in. It's looking so nice. And now we've got the mushroom juice that the mushrooms were laying in, so we're going to pour that in, just a little bit of it. I don't want too much, I don't make it too liquidy. That's looking good. So I'm going to, I think I will add the rest of that in. I think it needs a little bit more, but I don't want it too, as I say, too liquidy. Pop that back on the stove now, bring it to the boil, and then just cook that through. Now, if I was following the recipe in this book here, at this point, I would be adding the stock, and I would be like bringing it to the boil and cooking it for 10 minutes. But I'm going to fold in very carefully our white sauce that we've already made. I do it very carefully. I've chosen this one because cream is lovely, yes of course it is, but it's not very good for the old waistline. So this way on, it's not too fattening. That's looking good, that's folding in nicely. And then I need to pour all of that in and bring it back up to full heat. Right, that's looking good, it smells good, looking good. So now I'm just going to scoop this out and pop it into my pastry base over here. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to put it through the sieve because there's quite a bit of lovely juices there. I will use these, and I shall use these for my gravy. So that will not be wasted, but just so it's not too soggy and doesn't make the pastry base too soggy. So that's looking good. That's but we also want a bit of moisture, so we don't want to waste all that lovely gravy. So there you are, there we have our lovely chicken pie. Just about to top it with the pastry. It's quite a deep pie dish, this one, so therefore it might sag slightly in the middle, but it'll still taste good. Okay, we need the spacer, and I'm going to put that on 180 for 25 minutes. So if you're just looking there, I don't think it'll win any award on presentation because it's crumbled away here, but it's going to taste awesome. And it's also sunk a bit because the pastry dish is a little bit low, but hey, it doesn't matter, it's going to taste good. So we're ready now, 25 minutes, 180. Over here this is all of the gravy that was left. That is just going to make awesome gravy in a minute. Of course you could freeze it down and have it as a base for stock for other things that you might want to make, soup and things, but we're going to have it with gravy. So we're going to serve ours up in 25 minutes with some mashed potato, some carrots and butternut squash, and leaves it for 12 to try and taste and see. Right, how's our pie looking good? It actually had 30 minutes in the end. Had I wanted to keep it and stall it a bit longer, maybe the veg isn't ready, what you can do is cut some baking paper and pop it over the pie and then pin it down with the spacer here. Someone emailed that to me, and it's a really good tip and it works really well.
Well, here we are then, guys. I know what you're thinking. I must have the best job in the world. Tasting all this delicious food, you can't beat it, can you? Someone's got to do it, might as well be me. Anyway, there we are, lovely looking dinner, as you can see. It looks like it's going to be lovely. I mean, it's just of course it is. What else can I say, except, you know where to go for all our videos: cooking, halogen jobs, home help, Derrickton33.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching, catch you again. Wow.